What an afternoon it has been. Mikhail Granlund with a game-winning goal. Dates back to a bronze medal with Finland back in 2014. A hero today in overtime. 3 stars. Brought to you by Tim Hortons. Everyday value with every bite. Say hello to Tim Selects. Granlund the winner. A couple of assists for Patrick Laine and a noticeable performance by him. Erik Karlsson had a goal for Sweden, but the Swedes now lose twice in overtime. Finland wins the latest installment in the great Nordic rivalry. 4-3 the final score. Canada and the U.S. still to come today.
The following is a presentation of the National Hockey League on Sportsnet.
Start. It's a Kachuk night in Montreal. Nick Marner in overtime.
It's just a Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. It's just a Saturday night. Saturday
Thank you, Shawnee Kish and Jane's Party. Welcome to Super Saturday Night in beautiful Montreal. Minus 10 degrees, 40 centimeters of snow on the way. Feels like Canada, feels like hockey here. 3,070 days since Canada-USA, and nothing becomes a champ like a great rival. Last weekend when Philadelphia won the Super Bowl, they beat Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, and that made it special. Last fall, the LA Dodgers got the Yankees. That made it special. When you get the right sides collide, it's a perfect matchup, perfect storm. Good evening, welcome with Jennifer, Kelly, and Kevin, and there's breaking news. Let's start with David Amber and Elliot Friedman. David.
Yeah, Ron, 17 straight wins, best on best for Team Canada, but that's going to be put to the test tonight based on the breaking news you had a few minutes ago, Elliot.
Yes, Cale Makar is not playing tonight. It's been a wild couple of days. There is Thomas Harley, the Dallas Stars. He was not allowed on the ice because of the tournament rules until Cale Makar got off it. Makar, who's been battling an illness, took the morning skate. We were expecting him to take the pregame warm-up tonight. There's Harley coming on. And Canada, and we had just announced that Makar will not play. Now, he did come. There's Harley on the left with Connor McDavid and Colton Parayko. Makar did not come, or did come with the rest of the team earlier tonight, so we thought it was a good chance of him playing, but he's a no-go. Now, a couple of things to keep an eye on here. Number one, Makar is eligible to return this tournament. If he gets healthy, he could play for Canada again as soon as Monday against Finland. And the other thing, you know, Team Canada fought for Harley to be here. Initially, they were told he would have to meet the team in Boston. He couldn't join them here after Shea Theodore got hurt. But because Team Canada fought to get him here, they were fortunate, or else they would have been shorthanded tonight.
And what a spot for the 23-year-old. Second youngest member of Team Canada. Only Seth Jarvis is younger. 7th youngest player in this entire tournament. Thomas Harley under the bright spotlight here in Montreal in a huge game, Ron.
Thank you, man. Kevin.
This is a huge game for us, obviously Canada-US, but if you're actually thinking about winning the tournament for Canada, this might be a good thing to give Makar a couple extra days off to make sure he can resume. This is what I think the pairings will look like. I think Morrissey Parayko will move up and be your #1 pairing, get a lot more ice time. I think you put Sanheim with Taves, and you put Harley, the 23-year-old with the 35-year-old Doughty for that experience. You can't really put Sanheim and Harley together when they both haven't played a game, haven't been in this atmosphere, but I think the American Americans showed in their first game. They're a heavy team up front. They grind you down, and I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on this team. I think Parayko slots up for that PP1 as well.
Okay, here's my prediction. Drew Doughty is going to be unbelievable tonight. He played just under 19 minutes last game. I don't think he was happy with that. I don't think he was happy with his own performance. He's such a proud guy, and he's going to draw on all that experience that he has, and he's going to be back to where everybody needs him to be. And so that's my prediction for Doughty.
Well, we knew that Makar was battling something, but still, it is a huge surprise that he's not in the lineup tonight, but clearly no time for the Canadian team to dwell on that. I think huge opportunity for Morrissey and for Parayko, who have looked very good in the skates that we've seen in terms of their movement. I also think huge opportunity for Taves. I know he used to play with Makar, is very used to that, but even in game one on Wednesday, when we saw Taves, his ability to join the rush, to look for shots, to play smart defensively, so I think he just makes really great reads. So others now with a chance to step up.
Well, Hellebuck, his mindset's going to change a little bit too. He doesn't worry about Makar right now. Harley's a good offensive-minded D-man, but nothing like Makar, and so that's going to help Hellebuck a little bit in his preparation.
A very Canadian thing to do for sportsmanship, right? No Heiskanen for the Finns, no Quinn Hughes for the Americans. We're going to sit out Makar for this one. Very Canadian.
You know, I remember 2006 Torino, Wayne Gretzky, Kevin Lowe, Steve Tambolini, Bob Nicholson all walked into a little bar we were at after they got bounced in the quarterfinal, and Wayne said we needed Niedermayer. And in fact, Niedermayer was key on the Crosby goal in Vancouver 4 years later, so it's a blow offensively, it goes without saying. All right, coaches will know what to do. They've got 3,508 combined games behind them, John Cooper's team, and they got a few surprises in front of them as we gather them at a round table for a special rendezvous.
It's a brand new day, some new opportunities. This is how we do it. I'm on top of the world.
They're just low maintenance guys. They're a coach's dream. You leave the room, they're preaching what we're saying, and then on the ice, the work ethic.
It's good teaching point when you bring it back to your own team, these young guys that are in a hurry, ready to get out of there. Hey, take a look at this. The 5 elite players out there working on trying to get it right so they can get better.
Practice ended. So, you know, I went to go with you to go pick up the pucks, and they're all on their knees picking up pucks, all 5 of those guys. Someone should take a picture and send that to every minor hockey team. No, talk about no ego, you know, no entitlement.
Coincidentally, they're all wearing letters.
Yeah.
And the guys that aren't are probably the next in line to wear them.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, leading by example is a cliche. But
That's why they are who they are.
Exactly.
Cale Makar. You know, I've had the chance to coach C and Marchand and some of these older guys. Always seems to be playing in my division. I always seem to be playing him in the playoffs. Always admired his game from the other bench. I'm just looking forward to kind of get to know him.
Drew Doughty, everywhere he plays, he wins, he wins, he wins. When we're playing against them, he's so actually entertaining, his gamemanship, everything he does, I marvel at. I think he's a serial winner and around him. Yeah, I'm going to say Connor McDavid, just from coaching Arizona. I'm in for 5 years, and then Vancouver. So now all you're doing is scheming against him. What are we going to do to stop him? This, that. But I've never really sat and talked to him or had a coffee with him. And it'd be nice to sit down and get to know the guy. I'd love to sit down and talk to him.
I got Sid. Sid is Captain Canada. I mean, we didn't even talk about the golden goal in Vancouver. I've never spent any time with Sid in any vacancy in terms of coaching, so he's the guy I want to be around and learn from.
I'll give you this. So in practice today, Sid took off and went right by Braden Point. Sid took an eye, like just blew right by us. And Point, it was like, this is unbelievable. It was just from being on the same ice as Sidney Crosby.
I went with McKinnon. I just think every time he touches the puck, it's probably going in. And he wants those big moments. Seems like he doesn't.
I'm with David. I think we're pretty good as if, you know, he's a pressure player.
I went with Sid again just because he got to win and score at the right time. Because
he should have shot. He should have. I can't play my hand. I can't play my hand with this team.
That was good.
This is how we do it. I'm on top of the world.
Thank you to the coaching staff for that. They just showed the U.S. in the hallway on the Jumbotron, and of course, you know what the response was, and then they showed Canada. There, the Americans are being shown again on the Jumbotron. So yeah, matchups will be a key tonight. By the way, I want to mention Nathan McKinnon, as was predicted for the shootout there. He has 14 goals in his career against Connor Hellebuck. He's got the most of any Canadian against him. Connor McDavid's got 10. Kyle Connor, 8 on Binnington. Tops for the Americans. Eichel with 5, Kevin.
Well, what's happening right now is these pictures are being showed on the Jumbotron, and whenever it's a Canadian player in the hallway waiting to walk out, there's the loud cheer. When there's a U.S. player, there's a loud boo. The players, I've had some of them already tell me, they had nerves in game one. Nerves in game one. The Americans said there was an advantage to play second and to watch the Canadians play the Swedes, and that really helped them. But I think tonight, this matchup with this crowd, it's going to be ramped up to a whole new level. So the U.S. players, they're going to feel that when they come out here, and the energy of the crowd. And that's going to kind of determine, like, how do you play? How do you handle those emotions? How do you handle those nerves?
18,000 flags have been handed out. This is Flag Day, the 60th anniversary of the Maple Leaf becoming the symbol of our sovereign nation. So, the key matchups, Kevin, what are you predicting?
Well, the Canadians have home ice advantage, so they'll be changing second, and they'll be able to kind of dictate what they want. And I think if you look at the forward groups, they just stack up nicely for Canada. You go 1 through 4, so your number one line, McDavid, you go right at Matthews. I think you can have some success there. Marner knows Matthews, and I think this second line, this will be the key for Canada to come even or win this one. McKinnon right against Eichel's line, which was the best line in the first game against the Americans. The third line for Canada, it's a third or fourth line. I think you give them the Miller line. The Miller line created a ton of energy in the first game against the Finns. They scored 2 goals. The game winner, Boldy, was a horse. Cirelli's line shuts them down. And then the fourth on fourth, I think with Bennett coming in, he has to be a factor physically. He's the number one guy on Canada that has to assert his physical play without taking penalties.
Well, you think about how big the stage is for these players tonight, and Connor McDavid, and his whole life has been about exceeding expectations, and he looked exceptional in the first game on Wednesday, and contributed to that first goal, the assist on the power play. But you think about all of the elements. If it looked like he was all over the ice, he was. You think about controlled exits, 10 out of the zone, 11 controlled entries, 8 bursts of speed over 20 miles per hour. So he was on fire. Then you look at Austin Matthews. Really, his personality has been one that has totally embraced this event. He has been patient and calm with the media, just smiling all the time, looking like he's absolutely loving it. His line had some tremendous chemistry. He was connecting really well with Jack Hughes in their first game. So you think about these stars who appear to be very ready for this moment, Cal.
I know a couple of brothers that were pretty ready as well in game one for the U.S. and just explosiveness. You know, you look at the 2 Tkachuk brothers and they did everything asked from them. This run is going along with your theme from last game of, oh, brother, and man, were they ever good. How about Brady Tkachuk? You know, they're down 1-0 and he throws a puck off Saros. That was the first goal and they needed it desperately for the Americans. And then, of course, you're going to see Matthew Tkachuk throw that on the power play early in the third. And nice give and go right here. Brady's going to get it, slide it under Saros for the 5-1 lead. And then Matthew finish him off with getting the rebound, make it 6-1. And so you look at both these guys, and you know, Brady, that was his biggest game of his career. Tonight's even bigger, and the way he's going to handle it, he reminds me of his dad. He's just such a physical force out there, great skill, and then you've got Matthew that does everything a little bit differently. Maybe Matthew's not the greatest skater, maybe not the hardest shot, but he's the most competitive guy you'll ever find, and so he draws it all out of himself, even in nights where he may not feel great. He's still an excellent player because he knows how to get it out of himself.
And Matthews got the Stanley Cup. He's got the last 2 years of being in the playoffs and the finals, but Brady was the one that set the tone in game one.
See that?
The younger brother, yes. Of course.
He just challenged Hagel, yeah.
Yeah.
A little.
But he was the one that set the tone. Brady, with the first shift of the game, he created a scrum. Then he scored the first goal of the game, and he was in control of his emotions, pushing and shoving with Mikkola, but didn't take a penalty. That's what he needs to do again tonight. Physical, but be on the right end. Same with Marchand and Bennett. Physical, but on the right end of the penalty situation.
You know, I think Brady often defers to his brother. Questions on who's better right in front of the net. He always says Matthew, but for the majority of the game, he was the best player for the U.S. in their first game, Ron.
Time now for Bet99's Breakdown, brought to you by Bet99, by Canadians and for Canadians. Jennifer.
So we have to think about the story for Team Canada so far in this tournament has to be Sidney Crosby. And for any player, you want to be at your best in these moments. So Crosby at 37 years old, look at those that have represented Team Canada at 37 or older. Gretzky, Lemieux, and now already after only one game, it's Crosby with 3 assists. Let's watch his vision in every single one of these primary assists. He is constantly scanning the ice to know where everyone is to make sure his passes are exactly in the right place. This is the second assist. He checks on that blue line to see where Stone is, what pace he's coming in. Beautiful pass. Then you think the overtime winner coming down with a strong back check. The entire time up the ice, look at those glances. Shoulder checking constantly to know, okay, where is my support, and making sure what's the right decision. Now I'm 1-on-3. How do I create some space? And then Marner comes in with the unbelievable overtime winner. So in the biggest moments, you want to make sure that you are your most calm, your most poised, and Crosby was an amazing example of that in game 1 on So Smart and had a huge impact in that game.
Glenn Healy and the NHL alumni honored Team Canada 72 yesterday. We were all there. Exceptional, Kevin. As you said, the video synopsis of the series every young player should watch. But I remember back then, before the 72 series, Punch Imlach was a legendary NHL GM. He said, if in the games we get 75 hits, we win. Anatoly Tarasov from the Soviet Union said, if in the game we get 225 passes, we win. Crazy numbers, but that was the contrast in styles. How about tonight?
Yeah, rewatching that 72 Summit Series highlights was wild. The referees were having, like you said, Ron, PTSD. But 2 different styles of play for sure. Canada with the speed and the skill, built a little bit differently than the past. But the U.S., big, heavy, north-south, 8 guys well over 200 pounds on the U.S., only 3 on Canada. Crosby, McKinnon, and Stone, who aren't overly physical guys. But all these big boys, Brady, Miller, Matthew, Eichel even. Eichel had probably 6 hits. I don't care what he got credit for, but he threw the body in game 1, and they're going to want to get the puck in deep early. They're going to want to wear out these Canadian defensemen, especially the wingers for Canada too. A lot of them are a little bit on the smaller side, a little bit on the lighter side, right? So they're going to be taking some punishment, and then, you know, how does Canada make plays? How do you use your speed and skill amongst the chaos and the physicality? We'll see how they can get that done.
Let's go to Kyle Bukauskas and Brady Tkachuk. Kyle.
Brady, what is it like preparing for the biggest game of your life?
You know, it's already unbelievable. So it's go out there and do what we do.
The emotion is such a hallmark of your game. How do you keep it all in check with the atmosphere we're going to have tonight?
Well, it's just going to have to be maturity. It all comes from trust in one another and trust in what we're doing.
Player of the game honoring the Goudreau family is a really beautiful thing. I'm wondering, how has this group come together so quickly?
No, it's just that family. It's, you know, it's Johnny was family, the Goudreaus are family, and just that's what we do at USA Hockey. Everybody's family, everybody's a part of it, and I love going to battle with these guys.
Thanks, Brady.
Thank you.
Ron.
Okay, so 2-time Olympic champion, World Junior champion, World Cup champion, and official sommelier of the panel is with David and Elliot. DA.
That's right. Thank you for that wine, by the way.
Great intro.
Yeah, there it is. Ryan Getzlaff. Ryan, I got to start with a more serious question, though. Can you give us a little update on Cale Makar, the fact he's not playing tonight? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, Cale was working through some stuff throughout the last day and a half here or so, and just wasn't able to get it going for tonight.
Could we see him again later this tournament, though?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, we were lucky enough to get Thomas here and on the ice and ready to play, and we're looking forward to seeing him tonight, and, you know,
So,
if Cal comes back later.
Sorry, when you guys are in a room, a team, and all of a sudden you hear Cale Makar isn't going to play, how do you adjust?
Well, I think that, you know, the one thing that we are lucky enough to have is a lot of depth, and you know, the next guy up mentality has got to be the thing in that dressing room, and kind of rally around Cale now.
You played in a lot of these rivalry games. Describe what it's like ice level to go up and look, and it's the red, white, and blue, and we know how fierce it can be out there.
It is. It's incredible. I spoke to guys yesterday about, they were talking about they could run through the wall during warm-up last time. So I can't imagine tonight's going to be even more.
You've played with Sid, against Sid. What was it like watching him on Wednesday night, still vintage Sid?
It is. We hear the crowd behind us right now. It's incredible the way effect he has on the team and just his effect on the game overall. Whether he's got the puck or not, he makes things happen, and we expect another good game out of him tonight.
Ryan, what's the key for a Canadian win tonight?
Well, I think we got to control the puck as much as we can. Bieksa was saying earlier, there's a big, strong team that they're going to want a forecheck. So the more we can have the puck on our stick, play in their zone, that eliminates some of that forecheck for us.
That compliment's going to go right to BX's head. Just so you know,
I know.
What did you think of McDavid in game number 1? What did you see out there?
Well, I think Connor, early on he had the puck a lot. He was skating really fast. He was doing things. I think as a whole, our group kind of slowed down a little bit after that first period that was incredibly fast, and we didn't really expect that pace. But I think Connor's just going to get better and better throughout this whole tournament.
Ryan, we appreciate you taking the time, and good luck tonight.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, Ron.
Thanks, David. So we saw Nathan McKinnon going to his mouth, got hit by a puck. We're going to show you the visual of that right now. It just happened a moment ago, obviously.
Oh, right off the glove.
Off the glove.
That's friendly. He'll be okay from that. I got hit with a puck in the head once in warm-up, and nobody admitted to it. It ended up being Corey Perry, who's also playing a lot of these games. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by that, but McKinnon will be fine. That's obviously not the best way to get yourself warmed up. Maybe I'll give him a little bit more of a snarl, Cal. Right?
With us?
yeah, with us.
So he was going to join us here for the pregame show, and maybe he's heading over to the microphone now, which will be good of him. Let's take a short break. Hillary Whitebread is our makeup artist. Hillary, we'll need you down at bench level, and we'll try to catch up with Nathan. As I mentioned, in 25 games career against Connor Hellebuck, 14 goals, and an amazing performance the other night here in Montreal. Our coverage continues after a short break.
City TV Plus is bigger and better.
Some countries say they love hockey, but us, we own it. It's who we've been, who we are, and who we'll always be. Hockey is our legacy. And when four nations face off, our rivals better be ready. Because we're not here to play a game. We're here to play our game.
You're ready to face any challenge with vision and skill because you're built different. Kathy, and you too, Alex. Always bring your A game with Intuit QuickBooks.
When you're looking for effective pain relief, choose Tylenol. It's clinically proven to start working in 15 to 20 minutes. Tylenol.
With Wise, Tina can spend and send money in other currencies. Tina's gone international.
Moving all around, money head there, everywhere, man, I like a sound. Ding, 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 international. Moving all around, money head there, everywhere, man, I like that sound.
Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies.
Ding, ding.
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Something remarkable has just happened.
Talk about keeping your eye on the ball.
What's happening courtside?
From half court, he got it!
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Over to baseball. Bridgman's gonna win.
There's no way. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet360.
With the CR-V Hybrid's real-time all-wheel drive and range up to 800 kilometers per tank, not only will it beat the track, it'll get you off the beaten track. Adventures start here.
Zero. No one wants to be a zero, right? You give them two choices in life, be a hero or be a zero. I say don't choose. Zero is hero. It's the most powerful number in the world. There's 6 of them in every million. Quest Trade wants you to have more zeros. So they've changed the game again with zero commission trades. Now go get your zeros.
Twisted Tea celebrates Canada with the cold, refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Cheers to Canada from Twisted Tea.
Men's clothing provided by Jack Victor.
Finland, Sweden this afternoon. Zibanejad, Lundell, Rantanen, and Dahlin had scored. Now we pick it up with a beauty by Erik Karlsson and a great backhand sauce from Willie Nylander, who was getting backhand sauce from the crowd all day. Then less than 3 minutes to go in the second. Sasha Barkov squares the affair at 3-3, and we'll hand it over to Finnish announcer Antti Mäkinen to tell us the rest.
Granlund! Mikkola mukana! Granlund! Lauta! Suomi voittaa! Mikael Granlund!
Antti Mäkinen, sensational. Mikael Granlund, his 15th World Championship effort for Finland, and he is the hero of the hour. There are the standings. What this means is USA wins in regulation. They're in the final. That's all you have to know. There's nothing else matters, because whatever is the result other than a U.S. victory, Monday matters is the truth of it. And we're going to reenact 1905 Dawson City and go to Boston by dog sled is what I'm hearing. 40 centimeters of snow in the morning here in Montreal. It's beauty again. Snowing everywhere in central Canada, freezing all across the prairies, and a big night. So the goalies, why don't we start there?
Okay, Kev, so you mentioned you talked to some of the players and they said they were nervous. Well, I think that applies to both goaltenders in their first game. And you look at Jordan Binnington, well, obviously wasn't terrible, but the first two goals that he gave up, the one from Brodin probably should have had that, and then the one in the third by Kempe probably should have had that. But what did he do after that? He settled in nicely. I thought late in the third period, lots of battle, made a couple of big saves, but his best work was in overtime. He made 4 saves, big part of that, and then Hellebuck let in a pretty easy shot also by the Finns, and then after that he settled back into his normal style. So, you know, I think both these guys felt a little bit of pressure. You would. Everybody's human. Everybody would. Tonight's the same thing. I think that knowing the stage, Canada, US, they're going to be a little bit nervous. I'm going to say in about the first 4 minutes. If they can get through the first 4 minutes, then they'll both probably be fine.
Kel, I'm going to have sympathy and defend the goaltending. This is, for once, this is the most difficult type of tournament and format for these goaltenders. These are the shots on net in the first 3 games. 21 shots, 21, 24, 26, 28, and 32. Only one team in 3 games out of the 6 has had over. So that means these goaltenders are going minutes at a time without a shot, and then boom, grade A.
Yep.
So they're sitting dormant, and then they have to make a grade A quality chance. This is a very against the best shooters in the world.
That's right.
This is a difficult tournament to be a goaltender.
It is difficult. I also feel like these are 2 goaltenders that also have a lot of inner confidence. And if you think about this atmosphere, I mean, the crowd was on their feet for the majority of the warm-up tonight, so maybe a couple moments early, but in both those games, they responded very well. So to me, now you're channeling that into the potential for them to be very sound and very good in this big environment tonight.
Sanheim and Harley, Kevin, you're going into a game like this, what's your mindset?
Well, for 2 young defensemen, it's nerves and it's excitement. So the problem is when you have a little bit of nerves, you tend to play safer. And for me, where that could become an issue for these 2 young defensemen are on breakouts. If you're safe on a breakout, it means you're keeping the puck on the wall. You're moving it on the wall, you're rimming it, and what does the U.S. do really, really well? They forecheck, and they're heavy. If you don't have the confidence to make a play to the middle when it's there, then you're going to be defending in your zone for 30, 40 seconds at a time. I think both these kids have a little bit of swagger and bite. I'm hoping they have the confidence to make the right plays at the right time.
Okay, Kev, so what I'm looking for from a goaltender, if you're talking about breakouts, for Harley and for Sanheim, make a good first pass, a real simple one. Don't make it a long stretch pass. Don't do anything that's a hard play early on. Just make a really simple pass, whether it's to a forward with good support and or your D partner.
Also interesting to see the warm-up, whether it's some nice touches. We saw some huge sprints at the end by Harley in terms of getting some of that energy and emotion going for him, but I also think they don't have to go end-to-end. They've got enough great players that are going to be supporting them with speed to make that initial pass.
Sidney Crosby, 26-game winning streak on the line here. He's played 50 times with the Maple Leaf on his chest. His record is 45-5. The Canadian captain and Team Canada. If you've noticed, both teams in dark because each team's been issued one sweater for the tournament, so it's blue and red here. The Battle of North America begins after this.
Whether you're at Raj's or Hans or Maria's, there's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, XL, Ultra, Molson. Everyone in.
When you're looking for effective pain relief, choose Tylenol. It's clinically proven to start working in 15 to 20 minutes. Tylenol.
Download the Saily eSIM app and get ready for your big vacation. Save big on roaming charges. Save big in more than 180 destinations. Save big with flexible mobile data plans. And this vacation, save even bigger. Get 15% off with the code SAILYON for all Saily destinations. Saily, affordable mobile data for every journey.
Dream smaller. Take fewer vacations. Or no vacations. The world isn't that interesting. Dream smaller. Forget about buying a home. Keep renting that apartment. Who needs a backyard anyway? See, they're fine without one. Dream smaller. Retiring in the sun? How about don't retire at all? Just keep working and working and working. Dream smaller. Keep investing with us. Keep paying our high fees that lower your returns. Because that's what keeps our profits big and your dreams small.
Some countries say they love hockey. But us, we own it. It's who we've been, who we are, and who we'll always be. Hockey is our legacy. And when four nations face off, our rivals better be ready. Because we're not here to play a game. We're here to play our game.
Nissan is proudly celebrating 60 years in Canada. And right now, you can get great offers on select models, including our best-selling Rogue. Equipped with standard features like remote engine start, dual-zone automatic climate control, and intelligent all-wheel drive, Rogue is built for whatever Canada has to offer. Get to your local Nissan dealer and see it all for yourself. Get a Rogue S at 0.99% plus $1,000 anniversary bonus cash.
What playful white creature is sometimes called the canary of the sea? The beluga whale. It whistles, chirps, and squeals to communicate and uses echolocation clicks to navigate and find food. To learn more, visit hww.
The following is a presentation of the National Hockey League on Sportsnet.
One more depending on a prep, and we all look away. People pretending everywhere. We must stand together. There's no giving in. A hand in hand forever. They score. It's over.
Welcome back to Montreal. A huge thank you to Nickelback. Big part of the fabric. It's Flag Day. 60 years ago today, the maple leaf, it's everywhere. The maple leaf took effect upon, from, and forever after February the 15th, 1965. And it collides with the Stars and Stripes tonight, the well of national pride. She's overflowing everywhere in the land right now. There were 4,000 designs to get that flag in the 60s. George Stanley. It was your maple-centric beauty that won the day, and she's all over the building tonight. 18,000 flags have been handed out. Good evening with Jennifer, Kelly, and Kevin. We're all on pins and needles waiting the big game. Let's begin with Kyle Bukowskis. Kyle, to you.
Well, we're on a whopper of a lineup change for Team Canada here tonight. Cale Makar has been dealing with an illness the last couple of days, and he can't go tonight. He is out. So Thomas Harley goes from off the radar right into a defense pair with Drew Doughty in this one. We also anticipate Nathan McKinnon will dress despite taking the puck there in warm-up. Now, when you think of Canada and the U.S., you think of renowned children's author Robert Munch. Okay, well, maybe not right away, but Munch was born in the U.S., became a Canadian citizen. One of his classics, 50 Below Zero, which kind of sums up the feeling through much of Canada this weekend, walking through the snow to make her way inside for this one. Robert's mother would say that her son never grew up, and there is kind of a sense of a coming-of-age moment here tonight. Sam Hallam, the coach of Sweden, said this week that Team North America back in 2016, they changed the way the game was played forever. 9 players from that team are part of the clash here tonight. Their goal song from that tournament was a track titled Opposite of Adults, a song about making it big but never really growing up. They were just kids back then. They are all grown up now, and a where were you when kind of feeling here tonight, Ron.
Well, even when McKinnon put his sweater on, Sidney Crosby sweater over the shoulder pad, and when they came into the room after game one, it just feels like we're at a minor hockey tournament despite all the glory and the grandeur. David, Elliott, over to you there.
All right, Ron. Well, we all remember after Thursday's win, Matthew Tkachuk told Kyle, I've been waiting 9 years for this matchup, Canada and the U.S. Finally, it's here. Thank goodness for that, Elliott. The elder statesman in this entire tournament is 37-year-old Sidney Crosby. I think it's fair to say he's a creature of habit.
Yes, those of you who follow the Penguins know he goes out second last among players. Only Evgeny Malkin goes out behind him because Malkin had 1 more year of pro experience. Now here, Mitch Marner said yesterday that before the first game, Sidney Crosby turned to him and said, why don't you go out behind me? Now, Aiden Hill has kind of put himself in the last spot now, but it was just really interesting that Sidney Crosby, who, as all of his fans know, is such a creature of habit, made sure that here one skater was at least going behind him, and Marner got the honor.
Well, it worked on Wednesday. We'll see if it works tonight. And speaking of Wednesday, Canada got off to that early lead against Sweden. This building erupted. It's already electric right now, Elliott.
You know, the Swedish players said the Mario Lemieux introduction had something to do with that, but the American players had the ability to watch that game on television. And Austin Matthews said the thing he learned the most by watching that game, Canada-Sweden, was that we had to survive the first 10 minutes. Now, everything's different tonight. As Kyle said, there's no Cale Makar, and we'll see how everything does. But I was standing on the sort of in the crowd when the doors opened at 6:30 Eastern. I've never seen a building so full so quickly after the doors opened. People couldn't wait, Dave. They could not wait to get in here for this one tonight.
And you have to wonder if big game experience will mean anything tonight. Canada, despite not having Makar, have 14 cup winners. The U.S. just 3 cup winners. That's something Canada says they are comfortable in these types of games.
They picked that for a reason, Dave. They wanted winning experience on this team, and they've got it.
It's been 15 years since Canada has not won a best on best. They'll try to keep that streak alive tonight, Ron.
Thanks a lot, David and Elliott. We'll come back with the panel on the other side of the break. David Adams-Richards, when are we most Canadian? When we drop the puck. Gord Dwyer, Jean Hebert have the honor tonight.
Leon's No Money Miracle event is on now.
and drive.
Just before the introductions, a little special ceremony here tonight on a Saturday. Jennifer Botterill, some final thoughts.
Well, we've seen jerseys all day long since 8 a.m., and they have certainly filled this building. Canada, USA, when they face each other, it brings out the best in both teams. I think about the stage that Sidney Crosby has set, and he constantly proves the bigger the moment, the smarter decisions that you can make. So, to me, you know what else I think, guys? This could be the best overall skill we have ever seen in one hockey game.
Wow, that's quite the statement. I think I might agree too, Jennifer. You know, I think of Mitch Marner and scoring the overtime goal. What a feeling of relief it must have been for Marner, right? He put so much pressure on himself, but to score the overtime goal in this situation, he's the one guy I think is really looking forward to this game with less nerves than some of the other players.
We've never seen this generation's stars and the best players in the world play a Canada-US best-on-best game. We've never seen it. McKinnon, McDavid, Eichel, Matthews, Morrissey, Tkachuk, Marner, the Hughes. Who rises to the top? Who takes over? We've never seen it. We don't know. We don't know who's going to be the next Sidney Crosby of this generation of players.
There's Josh Morrissey. You know, they had Zach Werenski